2, 1. Sweet. So I think we're live now. And welcome to the LonelyFans Podcast, folks. It's been a minute, but I'm your host, Carson Daly, and we have our usual suspects, Albie and a fun guy. And to address the comment that we received just a few minutes ago, is this the movie? Unfortunately, Wes, the Supreme Ape Leader, this is not the movie. This is just us talking about the movie. You're more than welcome to stay. If not, I'd understand. And if you hit that dislike button, I'd understand as well. Title can be deceiving. So tonight we're going to talk about the masterpiece that was Andy Serkis's Venom, Let There Be Carnage, or post-credits mostly. I'll kick it off. I'll just keep it simple. It was like the 2018 film. It was fun, but that's all I took it for, to be honest with you. It was fun and entertaining.
Well, then I'll say this. Unlike the 2018 film, it was fun. That's my take. So I wasn't a fan of the 2018 film. I'm not saying I abhorred it. The 2018 film was like bland to me. So I was like kind of like blah. But if there's anything positive I can say about the sequel, at least it was a lot of fun. I definitely had a lot of moments where I enjoyed myself, both action scenes and non-action scenes, which we'll delve into later. But yeah, that's my general take.
Yeah. A fun guy. What about your thoughts?
Well, gentlemen, like I said about the first, like I said the first time, my prediction was unfortunately correct. I like 2018 Venom, and I like this one. But, like I said, I'm going to critique it. It did not surprise me. It felt like it was rushed for the post-credits. Wasn't a bad film. I think it took everything about the good movie, fast-forwarded it, and gave you more of it. The eternal dialogue. Because if you think about it, this is just Tom Hardy, who helped wrote it and produced it. Andy Serkis, who we know who he is, and the director. This seemed like a couples movie, if that's what they want to do, a couples rom-com with him talking to himself, which is, he has to, right?
Yeah.
It's CG guy
together
on my back. Yeah. So if that worked, if that's what they wanted, that worked. But I still say Venom should have been rated R and less funny. They had highbrow comedy and lowbrow comedy. It's like it was catered to adults and 11-year-olds at the same time. This isn't all my opinion. But like I said, it was good. If what they wanted was to catch people's attention for the post-credits, they did. They wanted a funny Venom movie, they did. But like I said, if that's what you wanted, that's what you got. I know they could have done better. But if it made money, who am I, right? Every comic person's every comic YouTuber or movie reviewer is gonna say something else. I'm saying this. It's good, but it's okay.
Trying to make
my
it
socks went blown off.
Yeah, but I mean, like, apparently to your money point, I think what I read, it's on pace to be the highest grossing movie of the weekend during the pandemic. So unfortunately, it knocked off our boy Shang-Chi. But
Really?
No, but I mean, we'll see, though. It's only the first weekend, so we'll see how it sustains. Shang-Chi had it for 3 weeks straight. Just want to say that.
Okay.
No, I think that's the main gist of it now when it comes to these Sony-verse movies. Like, whenever Morbius comes out, I think I'm just going to understand, like, my expectations are set to just being not corny, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just meant to be, like, a fun movie. Nothing. I guess I don't know how to word it without being insulting to the movie. You know what I mean? Or to Sony in terms of, like, the way they produce their Marvel films. But it's silly in a lot of ways, but I do like the dynamic between him and Venom, because I never considered that as a kid growing up, like watching Spider-Man, like, oh, how does he interact with the symbiote? So this is a nice take on it, in my opinion. It's kind of like a buddy cop thing. Like, they just...
I miss saying that. I'm glad you said that. I missed that point. Buddy cop, rom-com.
Like a buddy cop.
Yeah.
Our dog, not necessarily dog friend Lassie, but a very good two different species odd couple buddy cop.
Odd Couple, that's we're talking the Odd Couple with Matt LeBlanc and the other guy, that TV show they ran for a while.
That wasn't Matt LeBlanc. That was Matthew Perry. Oh, were you making a trolling joke?
No, I
That was
don't
Matthew
like
Perry
this.
and Thomas Lennon.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're trying to make I guess a millennial joke about it, I mean, if we want to go old school, we're talking Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon,
Oh,
couple. Not to get into the silly details here. I mean, to focus on the buddy cop rom-com thing, I definitely thought that part they did well.
yeah.
Like the dialogue between them was a lot of fun. The internal fight scene that happened in his apartment, I thought that was a lot of fun. I
Probably the
kind
best
of
part
laughed.
of the movie. Well,
Mm.
I cut you off. Sorry.
No, I agree. That was probably the best. I honestly, I really like the last fight scene as well, because that was the other thing that was better than the first movie. Because I thought in the first movie, the last fight scene, there was barely any choreography. It was just two blobs.
Oh, they combined in a one at one point, and it's
and it's like blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, so boring. While this one, there's actually choreography to it. It was also tense because Carnage was like kind of scary. For the most part, the ability that Carnage had, and just more ruthless than Venom. So at least I felt that, and that was probably the first time where when they pretty much said the title of the movie, it was like "Let there be carnage." Instead of me rolling my eyes like I did in the post-credit scene of the first one, I actually was like, "Oh, okay." I actually felt chills saying that. But going back to the rom-com thing, I thought they pretty much were very detailed when it comes to it. I mean, it even had a wedding scene, and of course, Venom shows up. Is there someone here who objects to this matrimony? Speak now, forever hold your peace. And I go, oh, okay. And
he comes in.
go,
We knew that. We knew that was.
We knew, but I was still entertained by it.
Yeah.
So I thought plot-wise, I thought they did well with that aspect.
Yeah, and I think the operative word is entertained. I was entertained. I did like how they had Carnage use the actual symbiote, like when he was like killing people and he spun in like a hurricane. That was pretty sick in the jail cell scene.
Oh, that jail scene was pretty dope. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Fun Guy that it should have been rated R, but I still that his death scene when he was supposed to be killed, that I kind of felt that I was like, whoa, all the victims' families are there. They're all watching it go down, and he just breaks free. And, yeah.
I just murders everyone there.
So let me give you, I'm calling myself out on this. I think this is a fanboy in general comic book problem I'm having. So let me try and keep this short.
No, it's good. But this is good. This is why we have it. Different opinions.
That's true.
On this, right? No, good.
So from Venom 1, whatever the government's secret societies, eccentric rich guys, possible supervillains, whatever in that universe knew, till the end of Carnage, what upset me, upset's too strong of a word. Well, I noticed it was like, hey, so under Ravencroft, spoiler, if you haven't seen the movie, under Ravencroft, you have this soundproof, props to the Shriek actress, by the way. She captured Shriek, what I remember from the 90s.
She's amazing.
I was like, I could see more of you in this film. I want to see more of you in this film. When I saw her, I'm like, I remember Shriek from the 90s. I didn't read all the original Maximum Carnage story arc, but I did beat the game multiple times and then listened to the soundtrack a bunch, had the red cartridge for Sega Genesis, just to show people how much of a Carnage / Venom fan and Spider-Man fan I was at the time.
True fan.
Yeah, like, what do you mean? What do you mean cassette tape made my Green Jelly that did the Maximum Carnage soundtrack? Who's Green Jelly? And what's a Maximum Carnage game? Yeah, boy. So there's no society that deals with superpowered individuals that we saw. Because they remember Shriek wasn't a surprise to them. They said, oh, she's mutating.
Yeah.
Her powers are mutating. They marked her down as a sonic level threat, level 10, and she's under this somebody paid for it, high-tech facility to soundproof and use the AirPods to talk to her. Well, where's the group at? Why are Carnage and Venom dealing with regular SWAT team and regular FBI? Did anybody else notice that shit? I cursed.
I think that's an important detail, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I never caught that.
Yeah, I didn't think about it during it, but now that you brought it up, I mean, that's true.
It's my comic book fanboy. I go, wait a minute. Regular bullets. No, what about that group that the other guy worked for? No one's keeping track of these superpower beings and these experiments. at least when Venom, that was my problem with the first movie. There should have been no symbiote. It should have been a group of tack people that knew the symbiote's weaknesses since they studied it. And then Venom should have got through them and made fun of a few people. More stereotypical, but less stereotypical. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe that would made for a better build-up.
It would have.
This one when he's really fighting,
Like,
truly
no
fighting
big bad at the end.
Yeah, no blob.
Symbiote, no blob. That was dumb. Like that was
unfortunate.
Yeah.
And a waste of Riz Ahmed's talent.
Yeah, he's a great actor, but he wasn't
he's
useful there.
He was
they didn't give him anything to work with.
Yeah.
Him and Tom were just like, okay.
Yeah. But at least in this one, Woody Harrelson was truly utilized. Naomi Harris as Shriek was fully. She really knows how to really choose scenes. Like I remember she was the best part in the later Pirates of the Caribbean sequels because they weren't great, but she was really good at that.
Remember she played Calypso?
But she was Calypso. She was excellent.
She rocked it.
And she's probably the best Moneypenny that we have from Skyfall. And Spectre, she played Moneypenny. So yeah, I'm really glad they got Naomi Harris in there. So
I forgot she was in the Pirates movie. Yeah, that's
she was one of them. She was Calypso.
She was Calypso, but she was also just like how she did here. She really chewed out her scenes like really low. She acted like
she did. She's like, "What am I? I got this."
Yeah, so I'm glad they knew how to cast. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if that Ravencroft held other like super. Now that James has mentioned it, like other super beings, like that one guy that was saying monsters everywhere. His name was like Siegfried or something like that.
Yeah, I was hoping one of you guys would know that reference. No.
No.
So I missed two references. I missed him, and I missed the beginning of the cop. So the big reveal. People have been reading all the symbiote shit because I said cursed again. But at a part, it got dumb to me in Marvel Comics. I was like, they need money, and they're making this big symbiote lead up to Null, and they're making symbiotes not aliens anymore. They're all part of the oblivion, the darkness. Just read it or Google it. But the cop, remember he opened his eyes at the end with blue eyes and said
Mulligan,
everywhere?
Yeah.
He's actually Toxin. He's Toxin in the comics.
Okay.
So
yeah, Toxin's go ahead.
No. What was he, like an offspring of Carnage and Shriek? Because I'm wondering, how did they?
So when Carnage killed him, and I guess it left a piece, and he's going to become his own symbiote later on. They shouldn't have killed off Carnage, by the way. IMO. I'm live. I said IMO.
They shouldn't.
In my opinion, Carnage shouldn't have died.
Really?
I think it's.
Sure, it would have nice to leave it up.
Maybe that's just me being cliche again, but I think they would have got more out the character if they left it open. But there would have been complaints either way, I think. If they didn't kill him off, they'd say cliche. If they kill him off, they say cliche. I want to err on the side of you shouldn't have killed him off. Too big of a big bad. For Venom, I think. Well, whatever, right? But I think they shouldn't have killed him off. Me and another friend agree about that.
I mean, you never know. They could always bring him back.
I hope they don't.
Why?
So I'm going to keep this really short because this could be a whole episode of me griping about this.
Let a character die?
Yes. American writers and comic studios need to stop worrying about legacy and just let the characters that can and should die with no retcon ever again. Ever again, period. Unless it's built in their background that they can come back, Ghost Rider, certain deities, certain cosmic beings, certain loopholes like Lobo, built in their character, either don't kill them, and there's just things you can do that aren't death, right? But if you're going to actually kill them and tell the audience, for all intents and purposes, no matter what reality or multiverse they're in, they're dead. Oh, make it mean something. It stopped meaning something to me like in 6th grade. Hey, Wolverine's dead. Nope. Okay, Psylocke's dead. Nope. Like, what's the point? Money, right? We brought back, when in Time magazine, when they said they brought back Captain America, because I bought the issue, I gotta find it. So we brought back Captain America because the comic sales started selling again. I'm like, baseball, Picard. It sold because he was dead, like Superman when you killed him way back before he was killed by Doomsday. He died before that, supposedly. It's money. I know. The American comic history is very, very with you're keeping people dumb, dumbing it down, and money. Another topic, another time. Great for versus matches, but not great for story, in my opinion. Most comic stories don't hold water when it comes to manga and anime.
You don't think it'd be in this instance with bringing back Carnage in the cinematic universe? Like,
it can be done because it's a whole new audience. It's not grogs like me being all cranky. They can do whatever they want in the Sony cinematic universe. I just put that rant out there in case no other comic viewer or comic channel says it, because they either getting paid or they'll lose viewers. I don't give a rat's.
Yeah.
But yes, they can bring him back. It would be, no matter what excuse they make, it will make money. Woody Harrelson's great, right? I'm glad they got rid of his wig. Y'all remember that?
Yeah. And
that wig had to go. That wig had to go. His look was good. He captured the serial killer. His acting's been on point, even for it's Woody Harrelson, right? He does good.
Yeah, kudos to him. And somebody was Jonathan Parker. Thanks for joining the stream. Said Dune was good. Cool. I don't think it's not out for us until I think end of this month,
October 22nd.
Yeah, and then he said weird atmosphere. I don't know if you're talking about the podcast or the movie, but thanks, man. We try to keep it weird in here. Anyways,
I think you meant Doom.
Yeah, I think so. If he did, cool. I was gonna say, they always open the door, right, in any type of Marvel or any comic book movie to bring somebody back. In this case, I'm not sure. I don't know if they would bring him back, but I feel like, oh, my bad, Jonathan Parker. He said Dune. Okay, cool. I don't know. I think Woody Harrelson did a good job, honestly. I was actually surprised. I was like, oh, this is going to be corny as hell. But surprisingly, he did okay. And props to him for trying to rock that wig as best as he could. There was a scene where I just couldn't help but laugh. It's when he kicks the convenience store dude. He's like this with his hair. I'm like, oh, dude.
Oh, yeah.
As someone that's losing hair, I know what you're doing right now. Just stop.
It was a believable stomp, though. The sound effects, people don't talk about the stunt guys and shit.
Yeah.
But I said it. It's all right. I already cursed a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But I care about the sound effects, the stunt people in movies. Of course, you guys know that. The writers, the screenplay, all that jazz I care about. But that scene, the sound effects was on point. I believed that he did kick his face or crush his rib when he kicked. I was like, oh.
Yeah, they let him kill. I didn't think they'd let him kill.
Yeah. It wasn't rated R.
Killed the
They
priest.
pushed it PG-13 envelope. The 2020.
Yeah, they did.
2021 envelope.
Mm-hmm. But there were a lot of times where I couldn't help. Well, if this was rated R, it would have been a bit more brutal. And
it should have been. Sony just needs to listen.
And it would really been nice to see them take that risk. It would have been nice to see Sony take that risk.
They can. With Venom, they make money.
I thought you were going to say it would have been nice to see Sony actually show him biting the priest's head off. I thought that's what you were going to say.
That would have been cool.
That would have worked. I felt a bit let down that the priest's head was like, hidden off screen. I was like, oh, come on, not even like
it was like
blood splatter or something, or like
what did he say? He's like power up.
Yeah, he did. He did.
He's like, oh, that's what I liked. I like the subtle like comedic moments. He's like, Father, not you, him.
Right. Yeah,
that was funny. No joke. There were some lines I said, okay, that was corny, but that was funny. The writing was better. They made sure everybody had good lines.
Yeah.
Just because I liked it. Yeah. Just doesn't make it an amazing movie, but I liked it.
I think what the dialogue they had was good, but I just wished the movie was a bit longer and we had more time to, because it looks like they were almost going for an investigative journalist type thing. And there were some nice like things that they did, like when Venom kind of redid what they saw on the walls, made those connections and all that. I liked it, but I wish there was more of it, because as it progressed, it seemed like the investigative journalism was dumbed down to a point where he goes to the that prep school, and then he sees a tree with their names carved on it. Like, wow, yeah, wow.
Speaking of that,
if only,
when you're done,
only
remind me.
Yeah, but if only investigative journalism was that easy. Oh, right, oh, this tree. Oh, it has everything. FB. Oh my gosh. Oh, I know that. And I'm like, oh, maybe do a little bit more digging. I don't know.
Yeah,
because
it
you
was
are
too
a reporter. You're supposed to be a pretty good reporter in it. So it was a bit lacking in that department, and I felt like it was a little bit of a missed opportunity because it almost like they were. So we were talking about buddy cop, we're talking about rom-com, but it was almost like a serial killer investigative show, like True Detective and whatnot. So it'd have been nice to have, not a lot of it, but just a little bit more.
A little bit of work in investigating the stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, right? So the best. I know you hear me give this group and this guy props a lot. One of the best 2 Marvel spinoffs I've ever seen are once again from Adi Shankar's bootleg universe. Like the Truth in Journalism is still the best Venom live action I've ever seen portrayal. It's still the best. It is one of the best cameos of another character, and it's one of the best Venom stories I've ever seen.
What is this? It's a one-off or
Adi Shankar's bootleg universe. Watch it immediately.
So is it like
a Truth in Journalism, right? Spoiler alert, it's an Eddie Brock Venom story. You have no idea until you know. I'm like, oh man, this needs money. His Power Rangers bootleg, better than the Power Rangers movie and TV show. Like, he just kills it. Him and his team and his vision. His Punisher, Dirty Laundry. That's short. He just killed the entire TV series of Netflix and the Punisher movies, which I don't dislike. And I don't dislike the TV series of Netflix. All different versions of Punisher. But this one, for a movie Punisher, worked. No one's quite captured Frank Castle yet. That's hard to do in a movie. They've done the best, but
I would
that's another
recommend
story.
watching. If you have, we'll get back on topic. I don't know if you've seen John Bernthal's Punisher yet, but highly recommend it on Netflix. It's still on there. Before we get back to the movie, I just want to address something Jonathan Parker said. He said Predator 5 by Dan Trachtenberg. Predator's first hunt, fighting a bear, even situated in America before it was colonized. Thoughts? So
Predator fan.
Yeah.
Predator fan. Let's see. Yes, I remember a predator getting a fight with a bear, which was funny. I think the bear won. I think the predator, from what I read, was killed by that bear. I would watch that. A predator film with no humans, because you saw it happen to AVP.
Unfortunately, that's as far as my Predators knowledge goes. That and the one that came out in 2010 with Adrian Brody.
Adrian Brody. Walton Goggins.
Yes.
Topher Grace.
Oh.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry.
What messes up
I remember that not being horrible. Maybe it just felt bland at the end. But yeah, I remember being solid. That was Robert Rodriguez as well.
I like the idea.
That was good. Yeah. Predators was, but it wasn't AVP. I'm talking about how bad the AVP movies were.
Oh yeah, those are corny as hell.
Wow.
All right, so back to Venom. Thanks, Jonathan Park, for participating, man. I did want to mention, because I'm a huge Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man fan, did you notice the parallels when she was falling, just like Gwen Stacy fell?
One
difference is Venom actually saved her. I thought it was going to happen. I was like, oh, she's about to die, because it's almost screen by screen the same thing. Like Parker saw Gwen Stacy through his web eyes. Venom sees what's her name through Michelle Williams to his eyes.
Mm-hmm. I almost thought the same thing. Actually. I was like, gosh, we're gonna go there. I was hoping
back doesn't.
Wait, what do you mean we're gonna go there? You mean
we're gonna go there? We're just gonna try to be dark and just kill the love interest like that. I'm glad they didn't. Maybe one, because I felt like Michelle Williams is still not utilized enough in this. I think she's utilized okay, but yeah, it's good that she's not dead, because we can probably use her more.
She's in this movie specifically. She came off more as just like the love interest relief. You know what I mean? Like for her scenes. I wish there would have been more with her, like there was in the first one.
Agree. So I'll give the first one that, if anything.
All right, and then Jonathan Parker, all right, hitting us up with another question. Or is it, what do you think about the Dolph Lundgren Frank Castle? He captured the madness quite well. Meditating in a sewer, waiting for answer from God. What a crazy dude, but it made him interesting.
Yes, I had that conversation with a friend, Jonathan, a long time ago. Unfortunately, Marvel didn't want anything to do with that. The Dolph Lundgren Punisher captured closer to how fractured Frank really is. Frank Castiglione. It was the closest one so far on portrayal media to capture what kind of Frank is. Because Frank is crazy, but also wanted a reason to go kill people again. Right?
Interesting. Okay.
He's a deep character, man. He's an anti-hero, which most people aren't okay liking. Frank's a fractured dude. Some stuff he does is okay, but he just wanted a reason to kill people also, to follow his moral code. And he has to worry about killing gangsters and shit, right? Or shooting at supervillains. Doesn't have to worry much morally about that. There's some YouTubers that crack the code on it. You'll see. Because they have more to write on the character.
You know who else wanted to kill? Oh, he said agree. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know who else wanted to kill people? Carnage. Cletus Cassidy.
So what Carnage needs to be rated R. Carnage needs to be in a rated R movie to capture the wanton destruction he can cause. They couldn't do that in the comics back in the 90s, where they gave you more of one movie doesn't capture Carnage. It's more like a murder spree in a small way. You know what I'm saying?
What did you guys think about like his motive or his backstory? Because he killed his grandma. He pushed her down the stairs. Through the damn blow dryer, in his mom's tub, and then,
I kind of wish we. Yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, that's the thing, and that's where it comes to the investigative journalism part. I kind of wish we delved a bit deeper into that, because it only scratched the surface, and they tried to expedite by doing a Tim Burton-esque animation sequence. Which, don't get me wrong, it was interesting. I just wish they did more. To a point where Cletus didn't have to bring all that up at the last fight scene and talk.
No,
Good.
Do you think the animation was a way for them to get around the PG-13 rating? Like, all right, well, we can't show people throwing a blow dry in a bathtub, so let's just do an animation stuff. Tim Burton-esque, as you put it.
That was smart.
It was totally like Tim Burton-esque. It reminded me of some of the animated shorts Tim Burton did. I think it was Disdain Boy or something like that. If you have time, look it up. But it had that same type of animation, or some of the animation you see in some of his stop motion animated movies.
Stop motion.
So I definitely that was interesting.
I do wish they would have delved, because he was like, I wish you would have told the whole story, how my parents abused me and all that. I was like, well, great. Why are we waiting until the last act to find all this out now?
Because it's only a 2-hour movie. They're going to kill them off anyway.
2 hours. It was a 90-minute movie. So.
Oops.
That was the thing. I was kind of surprised that it was just 90 minutes. I was like, what? Actually, I kind of think I think I know the reason. I don't know if I want to say it now to change topic, unless we're ready to shift topic.
Shift it.
Wait, before we shift it, I do want to mention, because I know I want to talk about the movie one more time. Just one more thing.
Exactly.
I forgot Tom Hardy voiced Venom, because when he was talking at the nightclub, I heard Bane. I swear to God, I heard Bane's voice, and I
didn't know he was voicing Venom either.
I didn't know. I was like, when he exerts his voice in a high pitched way, you can hear Bane in there.
I think someone else should have voiced Venom, not Tom Hardy. He did great, but I think he should have picked somebody else to differentiate the two. Most people won't be able to tell unless they look at the credits.
Maybe that would have helped. Maybe that helped convey the challenge that you have a different person within you.
Yes.
So
it's a whole different being. Yeah.
But let's face it, Andy Serkis probably went Andy Serkis probably went, hey, I voiced Spiegel and Gollum, so Tom Hardy can do Venom.
That's true, but with all that money,
it's a different situation. I know.
Yeah, it's a different situation. Andy Serkis is probably one of the best voice actors.
Yeah.
Period.
Hey, Andy, I voiced Venom in the first one. Or hear me out. I could.
Or what should have happened? It would be funny if, like, Tom Hardy is like Eddie Brock, but the person that voiced Venom is Mark Wahlberg.
Oh my god, dude.
I want to eat some people. What
do you mean got chocolate? Okay. Come on,
did you see Infinity? Should we go watch Infinity?
Yeah. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, go ahead and shift the topic because I know what you're going to go to.
What I'm kind of like, and maybe it's kind of sad. I go like, man, maybe they just pieced this movie together because I want to get Tom Hardy's Venom into the Spider-Man universe.
Like a long commercial just to get to that portion.
Just to get to there. And honestly, when I heard that people were excited about the credit scene when it got leaked, because I didn't know what happened, but I went like, okay, there's only one way this could be. People will get so excited for it. Either Spider-Man shows up or Doctor Strange shows up. So I already had the feeling that, yeah, we're going to see Spider-Man. What I didn't really think about is how, and it looks like if we're looking at it, he shifted into a different universe. That's what it looked like. So, which is interesting. I want like, okay, so they don't want to bother retconning some things, try to find ways to go like, oh, he was in this universe the whole time. They just simply went like whoosh, and he's in a completely different part, and then they got the TV with. I was like, okay, so that's why, and not to be suspicious of corporation suits and all that, but like, oh, they quickly made this movie so we can quickly get him to the Spider-Man universe. I kind of hope that means he'll quickly be in the Spider-Man universe. This better not be an excuse for them to just do it and then we don't see him in the Spider-Man universe until 4 movies later. So, yeah, honestly,
I'm gonna go ahead and get honest. Finish your point.
Oh no! What I'm saying is, I don't mean to like set our expectations high, but he better be in Spider-Man No Way Home. He better. I go like, I'm sorry. After all we went through, he better be in Spider-Man No Way Home.
So I thought about this, and I was like, okay, I wonder if this was part of the original deal when they were holding back having Tom Holland be in the MCU. They're like, all right, here's the new contract. You can have him. You can use him, but we want Venom in there. So my prediction now is I feel like Venom is going to help Parker is going to help Spider-Man in the new No Way Home movie because I feel like that's the most Sony thing they could ever do. We're all expecting Maguire and Garfield to come back, but I would not be surprised if it's Venom because they kept stressing lethal protectors, and Jameson might know lethal protectors was the issue where Spider-Man and Venom worked together. So I'm like, that's the most Sony thing they would do. We're going to watch it, and we're thinking they're there, and it's just going to be Venom.
So hold on.
I would not hold it.
Unless they reshoot so if I'm wrong, the internet never forgets on record. I think that Venom will be put in a Spider-Man movie somewhere. Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield are definitely in Far From Home, right?
No Way Home.
No way. Oops. No Way Home.
Something like that.
Yeah. In one of the Home Alone Spider-Man movies. Spider-Man movies. The Homie Spidey movies, right? Mm-hmm. They're definitely in there unless they redo and recut the entire film because of the plot leaks are correct. And then he's just put Venom. That would be hilarious. Venom showing up will be a surprise. I don't think so. And if he does, it's going to be the end because they're going to have the 3 Spider-Men with Miles Morales showing up for a second, do stuff. Like, hey, look at us. Miles Morales. Gone.
I'm setting my expectations, man, because I'm like, how fitting would it be for Sony to do that? You think it's going to be them too, but it's just a purpose to bring
Venom.
Spider-Man.
That would be hilarious. I would laugh.
Stage those leaks and
I would laugh hard and forever. Also, Lethal Protector was Venom's. That's what he was called for his own a comic series, Lethal Protector as well. Venom Lethal Protector.
Hmm.
You can Google that too.
Okay.
Anything we're saying, you can Google.
So this is education for myself. So there are
Or
comics
DuckDuckGo.
where where Venom was some sort of protector. I thought for some reason they came up
Venom
with
Lethal
that
Protector.
last minute to make a feature movie because
No.
like, you know.
It's like forcing an Easter egg. Easter egg. Easter egg. It's rotten, but it's an Easter egg.
Yeah. All right.
I know the animated series, they did work together when Carnage was introduced because Venom was trying to
the comics as well.
Yeah, he was trying to pick his love interest, so Spider-Man and Venom worked together at the end. But on the topic of the animated series, I like the use of the bell again, which was featured.
Don't get me started.
On that,
I was trying to ignore it.
Well, it was also featured in that atrocity that was Spider-Man 3.
Yep, I remember that.
They forced Venom in that film.
Please
so
kill
the
Peter
bell,
Parker.
yeah. I didn't want the bell to show up because it was there in the original comic when Spider-Man started losing the suit for the first time and it dripped on Eddie Brock. It was there in the cartoon. Spider-Man 3, which we're not going to explain, Mr. Pipe McGuire, pipe in it.
I thought he was going to do that at the end, bro. Like when he grabbed the pipe, when he grabbed the pole, I was like, "Oh God, is he going to stick it in the circle?"
Don't do it. Yeah, don't do it. Also, my problem is, why were the symbiotes so weak? I was like, so sound and fire can hurt them, and they can hurt each other, and they can get punched against walls and get hurt. Well, they didn't put any facts down for the durability of the symbiote, so I can't fanboy it. I don't have the fact sheet. I can't compare it to the comics because all movie versions Sony included are just much weaker than the comic versions. So it's whatever, right?
Wow, I didn't know that either. So I mean, I guess in hindsight, yeah.
Like Venom and Carnage barely get hurt. The symbiotes barely let you feel any damage. I can just pull up pictures of Juggernaut versus Venom where that version of Juggernaut couldn't hurt that version of Venom at the time. A friend brought it and go ahead.
Even in the first one, when the SWAT team was shooting at him in the building, like it didn't affect him at all.
And now he can just get slammed up against the wall and ouch because Carnage did it. I wasn't buying it.
Well, I can tell you how the meeting went. Albert will be Andy Serkis. Hey, Andy, I know you have an idea for an elaborate 2.5-hour movie, but
we need 90 minutes.
Hear us out, 90 minutes, and it's a segue to Spider-Man.
I mean, I have a treatment here. You know how Woody Harrelson was a natural born killer, so I figure we play around with that. And then also like Eddie Brock, you know, think about like Eddie Brock is more like a Matthew McConaughey in True Detective. Well, can we have that where we get into like the psyche of a reporter trying to do good, but you know, ethics come around, raising about how do you tell a story, or is there both sides to every story? Are we gonna mess around with that at all?
Or hear us out. He eats chickens. He names one of them Sonny and Cher.
Okay, so in Lord of the Rings, I did this thing where, you know, Gollum was having an identity crisis. You know, we do a back and forth to a point where there's a triumphant feeling where Smeagol finally gets rid of Gollum. So here's the plans I have for this sequence. I have it in my notes here. Do you want to take a look?
I got a meeting with Jared Leto about Morbius, so you got to make this
because they gave us a 90-minute commercial. The movie, whether I liked the movie or not, which I did, even though I made fun of it, it was still fun. I laughed. I had a large Coke, large popcorn, literally. I was like, okay, but they just gave me a giant trailer just to boost me up for post-credit Spider-Man. I was like, oh, you killed off Carnage just to tell me, hey, he's going to see Tom Holland where the money at. These suits, do any of these suits, if any suits from Sony ever see this video, please post the comics you actually read and proof you actually read them. You have to prove it somehow because I won't believe you. Don't ask your secretary. Don't ask your intern. I want comics that whoever put money or wrote in the Venom movies that's a suit, a higher up in Sony, I want to know proof that you actually read comics.
And if any suit ever
listens, talking to you.
I loved Venom, so feel free to send me a PlayStation whenever you guys want.
I dare you to send me a PlayStation. I'm still going to
please like and subscribe to this video.
Yes, please as well.
Like and subscribe.
Like, please give us any negative or positive attention, Sony, you directly want about you not reading comics. Whoever put money into the movies.
We're gonna have a retcon video. If for some reason they watch this, we're gonna have a retcon video like, we the lonely fans love the Sony executives.
If they pay me,
we love Venom. Look at screen and smile. Oh,
you just see me doing this. It's like, fun guy, what happened?
Or Andy Serkis goes like,
The
"Hey
money
guys,
gun.
stop putting me into this situation."
Stop bringing my name up.
1 second, because I don't think I didn't see it. I saw it, Jonathan Parker. You said, by the way, not to be topic breaker again, that Predator 5 movie was not an idea. It had been made by Dan Trachtenberg, Cloverfield Lane. Oh,
it's coming. All right.
Okay, then another thing he did mention, he said, I always thought the perfect Spider-Man movie should be situated in the 60s. Imagine Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with Spider-Man atmosphere. That could work.
Oh.
Yeah. As long as Quentin Tarantino's not doing it. Oh, wow. Thank you. He's coming all the way from Netherlands.
Nice.
Represent. Thank you for watching, man.
Thanks,
Hopefully
man.
have liked and subscribed, because we will have a giveaway at 500 subscribers and 1,000.
Yes. If we get 500 subscribers and 1,000, we will have giveaways.
He said claiming the late hours with beer. Well, let us know what beer you're drinking in the Netherlands.
That's how you do it.
Nice,
yeah.
man. Nice.
Yeah, let us know what you're drinking, man.
Like I said, 500 subscribers and 1,000 will have giveaways. Cool.
1,000 subscribers, and one of us will be giving our social. No, I'm kidding. No. Back on the movie, though. Yeah, it kind of sucks because I did enjoy the movie, but it sucks that the post-credit scene seems to be overshadowing what the movie was.
Yeah. I was like, I was surprised hearing more about the post-credit scene than the movie. And I'm like, oh, that kind of, okay. And maybe that, an element, maybe that made me, other than preparing for this podcast, that maybe try to see the movie sooner, because post-credit scenes are easy to get spoiled. So I'm like, all right, let me see it before it gets spoiled.
Yeah. I was trying so hard to avoid Instagram, like, because all I kept seeing was Venom spoilers, swipe right to see it. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Well, at least you get swipe right. I get spoilers.
It just showed up.
Get-go.
Oh, I watched it on purpose, the spoiler.
I knew Ben Kingsley was going to be in Shang-Chi weeks before Shang-Chi came out.
You told me
someone like posted that. And, which was fine. At least it wasn't necessarily a key plot in the story. So, like, yeah.
Yeah.
But, yes.
Sorry, Jonathan Parker said Andy Serkis played King Kong motion capture. He is untouchable. I agree. He's probably.
I didn't know that. Thanks, man. I didn't know.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did King Kong, and then he did Caesar in Planet of the Apes.
Oh wow!
Ooh, that's right. Andy Serkis, one of the best voice actors of all time. One of the best voice actors of all time.
I think one movie.
Play the movie for us.
Sorry, man. As close as you're gonna get to the movie is this right here. Sorry, I can't play the movie, man.
We're not even famous enough.
Our Venom's voiced
have
by
the negative
fake Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah,
Mark Wahlberg.
What do you mean there's no chocolate, Mrs. Chen? I want chocolate.
I want chocolate. I gotta eat heads. I gotta eat all the heads I want. I need sustenance. I need protein.
Mark Wahlberg messaged us. He's like, "Hey guys, I could have done a good Venom. What's wrong with y'all?
Don't eat Sonny and Cher. Those are my friends.
Look at his muscles.
Friends. Yeah, they're chickens, but we're friends.
I don't even need CGI. I'm as big as Venom." Oh God!
He does work.
You want Carnage? I got Carnage right here.
Mark Wahlberg does work out. I got Carnage right here.
Wow. This is nothing against Marky Mark. I actually like Mark Wahlberg quite a bit. The other guy
in Four Brothers, he was amazing. Four Brothers was my favorite brothers.
I'm addicted to Mark
Wahlberg. But
we can't play the movie, but here's a lovely cat for you. So I guess let's just go ahead and segue. So what do you think is going to happen then? So I guess this confirms there is a multiverse. I think people are predicting that Venom did that. Like, did you read about that where they're like, he's like, I can show you a little bit of our history, and it just like beamed him after he said that.
I don't think Venom did that.
Yeah, I don't think Venom did it either. But there's this
because he was confused as well.
Right. Yeah, he's like, I didn't do that.
Well, here's the thing. So if you look at the TV screen, and it was, I was gonna say Alex Jones, but no, it was
Alex Jones.
J.K. Simmons as an Alex Jones like
character.
What's the character's name?
Oh, I don't know, but it's either fake and a fraud.
Joe Jonah
Jameson.
J. Jonah Jameson. Jonah Hill Jameson. I don't. Okay.
Jonah Hill Jameson.
That's a lot of. That's a.
I want to see it though.
I was trying to figure out, was that the same segment that we saw at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home? But yes. I don't think it is, because they actually have footage of Peter Parker without the mask and everything, and he's sort of just chilling on the street. So I'm going like, okay, maybe this is a later segment. Yeah. And then the thing we just saw, that was the thing that was done by Doctor Strange that we saw in the trailer.
Sure. Wait, there's another theory.
Yeah.
I don't know who's right.
Mephisto.
I don't take credit for this.
Oh my God.
Mephisto. No, Mephisto might not be dead, but I don't take credit for that either. None of this is from me. This is all just something I agree with. So the possibilities of the crossover are 3. One of them's random, which it's not. Has nothing to do with Scarlet Witch. I just brought her up for fun. If she's the cause of that, whatever. I don't think so. But if she is, cool, right? Number 2, like you said, Doctor Strange's spell with Peter Parker giving somatic components to the spell, messing it up because of what he is, a Spider-Man, right? Number 3, another theory I agree with, though, is Loki. What happened in Loki?
Sylvie causing it.
I'd be down.
Yes. See you soon. I love this. Oh, I love it. Loved it.
I would be more inclined for the last part. Yeah, I would love for Kang to be behind it.
Actually,
well, not directly. Not directly. But Kang, the Kang we know that the fans are going to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, see you soon. He said there's 2 ways this is going to go. A, you kill me, and who I don't want to show up shows up, a version of me that doesn't is not this. And B, you guys take over. He was ready. He's like, okay.
Wait, and that's the gambit. So I literally watched this the other day again because I forgot how good that last episode was.
It was so good.
When Albie said Mephisto, though, I was having flashbacks to the wintertime when we were all like, oh my God, it's going to be Mephisto. Is Patrick Stewart going to show up? That's why I'm trying to set my
Mephisto's never going to show up, guys.
No. And side
anytime
note,
soon.
Thanks, Jonathan Parker. Heineken, of course, which is Dutch from the Netherlands beer. Right on, man.
Heineken is actually really good, man.
Nah, I do like Heineken.
Are we pronouncing it right? Jonathan will tell us.
Yeah.
Heineken?
I've always called it Heineken.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but that's the American.
Actually, if I'm going to a 7-Eleven, sometimes that's my go-to. Just get a Heineken, like a case of Heineken and stuff. I love Heineken.
So you think it's random? You think it's more so it's random? I think it's multiverse with Doctor Strange, but it would be cool.
I'm just thinking about the timing of it. Yeah.
I'm thinking it was the Loki one instead, but that's just me.
The only reason why I'm thinking more, Doctor Strange.
That's where I saw it, actually. Rob on Geek Explained. Shout out Geek Explained. I think that's where I saw it.
Yeah. I mean, I would only what?
You remember that so I'm wondering, remember in Loki, Kang goes, something just happened. There's a crack in the multiverse or something like that. I'm wondering if it could have been Doctor Strange that caused it, as opposed to what we thought was Wanda.
True,
possibly.
Because
he's in. Possibly.
No, honestly, what you just said back that's what it comes down to. That's why I'm thinking we're leaning a bit more towards Doctor Strange. But I do like how the MCU gave us all these options of what's creating this multiverse. We thought it was WandaVision, then we thought it was Loki.
Winter Soldier. No, I'm kidding.
Because Wanda is thumbing through the dark hole and doing it for at least 2-3 years after the end of the show. That's what she's doing.
Well, maybe we'll have more to think about with What If.
Eternals?
Which,
what if you are you caught up, Albie, in What If?
I haven't watched any.
I watched.
I need to.
I watched the latest episode.
Watch it, Jameson. You'll like it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, dude.
They seem pretty good. We got to talk about, because when I talk about it, I want to know why Ultron's stones work in other realities. So I got to watch that episode.
Why you
I
just
was-
ruined it?
Yeah, that was a
Oops,
good
I ruined it?
sequence too.
No.
I mean, we both watched it, so you didn't ruin it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I already you know I keep up on all the comic YouTubers almost, so I know what's going on. I don't know why.
Oh yeah.
So I have to watch it.
Yeah. Thank you,
Oh, yeah.
Jonathan Parker. He said, "Do y'all agree that the voice of the '90s Spider-Man cartoon, Christopher Daniel Barnes, would have been the perfect live-action Peter Parker in his Brady Bunch period? Total Peter Parker vibes." That's right. I forgot the guy who voiced Peter Parker. Peter Parker was in the Brady Bunch movie from the '90s.
Really?
Yeah.
Mary Jane. Him yelling Mary Jane for years was fun.
He could have. Yeah, he could have.
Yeah.
And then he said,
I think he could have, Jonathan. I think so.
look at some of the scenes from the Brady Bunch movie.
Okay.
Oh, and he did say you guys pronounced it perfectly for Heineken.
We did? Oh, dope.
Yeah.
I tried, man. I wasn't gonna
I think for a lot of us, man, for '90s fans, I
Nothing.
think there's always that nostalgia to those animated series, whether it's X-Men or Spider-Man. But I think I don't think-
Batman.
yeah. Oh, that's right.
Ooh, Batman Gargoyles.
Batman the
Don't forget about
animated
Gargoyles.
series.
Yeah.
But Batman animated series
And
put
Gargoyles, yeah.
Gargoyles and that were the most at the time were probably the most mature themed and well written TV series. Batman animated series and Gargoyles.
Yeah, I mean the Batman animated series was more serious than the Batman and Robin movie.
One could
Correct.
argue it was Zack Snyder before Zack.
It's true.
Sorry. Just,
I see what you see. We see what
do you think that line in the movie about mutations will lead to anything, or is just a little?
Oh, right. I was thinking about that as well. I go like, oh,
No.
that'd be.
Marvel's already got their mutant plan lined up. Wolverine's going to appear first. Patrick Stewart's going to appear in Spider-Man, probably multiverse.
You think
Wolverine's
so?
gonna appear. They're going
Don't
to
get my hopes
They
up,
have
man.
to. They're going to do some. They're in Doctor Strange. Multiverse of Madness. We're going to see some stuff.
I
Spider-Man,
hope.
when it comes to multiverse, we're going to see it in Doctor Strange. Pieces, just enough pieces to tease.
That movie. See, my thing is like, I mean, I hope the multiverse has not relied way too much on bringing a lot of these characters.
True.
Like, I kind of want to see a new version of Wolverine, one that's more like the comics, where he's like hunched over and like really built. And like, I love Hugh Jackman, but I can't help to want to see it. And then even give other people a crack at, Charles Xavier and Magneto. Though, I love it. I love Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, but if we were to bring two people back, I want to give James McAvoy and Michael
Yes.
Fassbender a chance.
Exactly.
Mostly because their best chance was First Class, which was amazing, and then they kind of got ruined with the movies following that. So,
Or here is Sam.
I feel like Days of Future Past is a great finale. Or
or
we bring an apocalypse. What does he do? He just kind of grows big
he's
and
blue.
speaks softly.
Kind of looks like Thanos. So we can just push it out now to make it the big bad. But I never thought of it that way, but yeah, now that I think about it, you're right. Like I hope the future, the next few movies aren't too nostalgia dependent that they think we need. You know what I mean? Because I was watching the Eternals trailer again. It actually got me excited because before I was like, I wasn't optimistic about it. I was like, oh, this is going to be the first Marvel flop. But the more I see about it, the more I learn about Eternals, I'm like, oh, it's actually pretty interesting. So bravo for Kevin Feige for keeping me interested with MCU after
Eternals
Endgame.
is going to be an eye opener for a lot of stuff. They already answered questions. Help against Thanos. Why do you help humanity at all? Why? Oh, because these big, very powerful guys would have just blew up the planet.
Mhm.
Oh, the Celestials.
If we helped you, there'd be nothing. They would have blown you up in the Stone Age or before. Just so you know. See that? Yeah. When I show you these guys, they would have blown up the planet. Nothing cool would have happened. No internet. No 80s. Deities would have saved you. They would have blew it up. Sorry. That
Do you
the movie. Like, really? Nope. Thor wouldn't have saved you. Odin wouldn't have saved you. They knew about these guys, and they would have blown us up.
would they have nerfed the gauntlet to be like, even if he snapped his
The
fingers?
Gauntlet can't stop the Celestials.
Really?
They cannot. Now,
Oh, okay.
talking about the comic, MCU can do whatever they want. basically the stones. I think in the comics they can. In the movies, I don't think so. I think the Infinity Gauntlet, what Thanos had with the Infinity Gems, is more powerful than the Celestial, or a few of them. Yes.
I think you're right, because in the comics he did trap the Celestials with Galactus with the Infinity Gems.
Yes,
but in the movie, it would make sense.
The Living Tribunal turn it off, right? Eventually, he goes, "Oh, I thought he did. I thought he turned off the Infinity Gauntlet at one point."
There was not a deleted scene, but in the original script of Infinity War, Doctor Strange actually brings Thanos to the Tribunal of Celestials, I believe. I could be wrong.
I heard the Living Tribunal. Yeah, I wish they would have had that, because I would have loved to have seen that.
That would have been cool, because they explain what the Living Tribunal is. He's the embodiment of the emotions. He's like the guy that's like, hey, stuff's messing up universes. We are the final judge of that.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that they were thinking about it then means they got a plan in. So.
Yeah, they're gonna put him somewhere else. Maybe with Adam Warlock. Y'all forgot he's gonna show up.
The only reason I keep forgetting is because of all the delays. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, kept being delayed. Yeah. But blessing in disguise though, because the Suicide Squad was awesome. So blessing in disguise.
And if you haven't seen it yet, check out our podcast on the Suicide Squad from August on the channel.
Please do, Jonathan. Please do.
But one thing I want to mention, because we were talking about things affecting like the universe and all that. There's also the 10 rings from Shang-Chi. They mentioned that. So
who made those? Where'd those come from?
Exactly. So we'll see about that. Maybe that is.
It's a symbiote.
I will be so mad.
It's the 10 rings of symbiote. It connects to Venom, and
I think it's tech that has not. I think the best theory is the tech that has not been invented yet. That holds the most in my cup right now.
Yeah.
Eternals linked? No.
Maybe.
I don't think so. If I'm wrong, cool. I don't think so. I don't think we're going to hear about what made the 10 rings the Eternals.
Sorry from that.
What's up?
Jonathan, I love that you're participating, man. We appreciate it. Said 90s Batman was perfect. It was.
Yes.
Mask of the Phantasm. I think you mean.
Oh, I remember.
Mask of the Phantasm was probably one of the best Batman movies of all time.
Yeah.
Me and my other close friend agrees about that. My friend in Florida.
I just say word like Batman, Robin, Schwarzenegger Freeze saying that the Ice Age killed the dinosaur.
Yeah. How idiotic can you get?
It was. Jonathan, we agree. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
Brilliant, right?
Especially when you're coming back from the animated series, what Mr. Freeze is like. It's nothing like, nothing like what Schwarzenegger did.
No.
The worst line in Batman and Robin. I said, "Damn, my typing is bad. Beer, beer, beer. It's all good, man.
It's all good.
It's
something. I need to empty my bladder right back. Cool, dude. Have a bottle for us here. All right, back to Venom.
Yeah, sorry. Well, I mean, honestly,
it opens the doors to a lot of things.
It's Venom's fault because they pretty much opened that door with that post-credit scene.
It's one of those things where it's like, really? I guess we are doing it. It's just, I guess I heard this a few months back, and I was like, no way they're going to go that route. But I feel like the multiverse to them is like a way to just acknowledge old movies and be like, hey, if we wanted to, we can pull from it and integrate it at some point in our cinematic universe. But
that cash grab, literally, multiversal cash grab.
I just hope it isn't too dependent on it, like Albie said.
Yeah. Maybe they can make a really cool sequence, but it shouldn't be the thing, though. Yeah, we'll see.
And that's why I think it's not going to be Toby and Andrew. I honestly think it's just going to be Tom Hardy.
Venom.
Just
Venom. Where's the
the most Sony move in the world, and they're going to show it in the trailer too, I bet you.
I would laugh if it's just Venom. Sorry, just Venom.
I wouldn't.
That's not going to happen, but if it did, I would lull for a long time really loudly everywhere. I would laugh out loud at work. I'd laugh out loud on here.
Yeah,
I'd be
Laugh out loud in the theater.
like it's only been a lot. Like, oh man.
And it's not Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, it's the kid from Amazing Spider-Man.
I keep forgetting that kid.
I don't
Willem
even see
Dafoe.
it. I didn't see Amazing Spider-Man, so I can't tell you.
You're missing
I
out
meant
on a
to see it.
masterpiece. It is a true masterpiece of our generation.
Okay,
It's not
I just didn't see it. I meant to see it. I forgot.
It's a mess. I'm sorry.
It's a mess.
Jamie Foxx.
It was.
Let's
it
go
was
catch a
mess.
spider.
I mean, Jamie Foxx wasn't the worst part of it. I just thought it didn't know how to handle too many villains. So bugs, and also marketing is as Pac said, Sony's not very good with their marketing, because I remember Amazing Spider-Man 2, they were marketing the shit out of Rhino.
Yeah.
Only that to be the final shot of the film, and literally the final shot of the film, because nothing else happens as they're running towards each other. And it was like,
really?
Yeah, that's how the movie ends.
Sony, what are you doing with your movies for comics? What are you doing?
So,
Stop it.
Let's hope that we don't get a trailer of Spider-Man and Venom in it, and they're like, yeah, and then we watch the movie, and that's literally the final shot of the film.
Scene.
Let's do this, Brock. Let's do this, Parker. Yeah.
Morbius better. Morbius, don't mess that movie up either. Just don't.
Well,
too late.
Sorry. Don't mess it up.
Now,
whoever's directing or wrote the treatment in the script, what's up, Doc?
I'll be neutral as I can, just like I was neutral watching Venom.
We're gonna have an end of the year recap, for LonelyFans. But you surprised me this year. I thought you would have hated the Snyder cut, and I thought you would have hated this just because you're such a MCU shill. As you put it, not me. Your words, I'm not. So I'm surprised.
Show.
I'm surprised you like these.
Okay. I'm not an MCU show. I just like, well-crafted stories. Here, I'll say this: probably the best Spider-Man movie is Into the Spider-Verse. That's Sony.
All day.
All day. Like, next step for me would be Far From Home. I really like Far From Home. I really like what they did with Mysterio. I like the complexity of all that. But as far as all around standalone story, Into the Spider-Verse was probably the best Spider-Man movie I've seen. Had some of the really coolest sequences. Had a really touching story. Yes, there were a lot of characters, but they knew how to have that all interact with each other, and then hopefully future projects will understand how to utilize the multiverse. It wasn't relying on it to solve all its problems, but they knew how to craft all that together.
Right.
Have all the different Spider-Mans team up at the end and all that. So, and honestly, it didn't make things easy for Miles Morales. In some ways, it made it harder, but it helped him grow up to be the Spider-Man he is. So honestly, with that being said, No Way Home has a lot to. Yeah, No Way Home has a lot to
live up to.
To live up to. Thank you.
Yeah.
Teamwork.
I feel like grammar. I feel like this is going to be the thing. So the reason why I was going to ask you guys, have you seen the figures that have leaked? Or not leaked, but they're available to buy now, right?
Really?
For Spider-Man.
I didn't pay attention to them. Maybe because I was trying to avoid spoilers. I know figures can be.
What? This one, okay. So this one, I was thinking about. I'm going to share my screen here real quick. So,
okay,
this one is it's in the trailer, but I'm wondering now if this has more leverage to do with a symbiote suit. I don't think it is.
Right.
What if it? You know what I mean?
That'd be interesting, but the detail to think about is, at least in the trailer, he was in a black suit, but he didn't have a mask on. So,
that's true.
I don't know. Or let's face it, we do know that studios make a habit of making two versions of a scene, and that could have. I don't know. That would be cool though, to have Tom Hardy Venom merge with Tom Holland, Peter Parker.
He gives him the symbiote, and that's the black suit Spidey right there.
Maybe.
That would make me so sad.
Or it's
So
the Topher Grace Venom.
All right, that's enough of that.
I'm sorry.
Topher Grace is Venom.
All right, we're approaching a little over the hour, guys. We're going to go ahead and put a bookend to this, but any closing thoughts before we sign off tonight?
Look, I had fun. I had fun watching it, even though I do have a lot of criticisms, a lot. That doesn't mean I did not have fun watching the movie. So let's just hope that this famous post-credit scene is not wasted.
Oh, God. Coming in 2028, Venom and Spider-Man movie, directed by Todd McFarlane. Hold on one second. He says...
Todd McFarlane.
Camera of Avatar 4 features. Who the hell's waiting for sequels for them?
Nobody. No one's going to watch. Jonathan, we're with you, man. No one's going to... What?
The funny thing is, I feel like that movie's still going to do like $1 billion from some
It is, but no one cares.
I'll
it's
admit
going to make money.
I might watch it, but just like I did with the first one, if I'm going to see Avatar, I'll see it in theaters and then almost never see it again.
Yeah, exactly. I saw this one time. Someone was like, Avatar is the biggest box office, blah, 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 but can you even name one character from there? I'm like, no, not really. Maybe one.
No.
That's it.
Yeah. Unobtainium.
That's not a character, but that's
it's not a character.
And by the way, please forgive don't say it's all good, man. We love the participation.
We understood you.
Yeah, feel free to come out, man. Usually we're doing this every Sunday, hopefully going forward. But I mean, look, if you have more criticism now, we feel free to give it, dude, for the movie.
We talked about the criticism mostly. Like
there's one character
too short,
ready?
Not R-rated, and
too short, not R-rated, and killed off Venom. Colonel Quattridge from Avatar.
Oh, you're talking about Avatar?
Man, you just looked that up, and
I did just look that up.
He says
Stephen
there will
Lang's
be
character.
Jeez. He said there will be no Tobey and Garfield and No Way Home. We'll see, man. I'm thinking that now just so I can set my expectations.
Miles Walker.
Yeah. And watch it be Mephisto. My thoughts on it as well. I mean, I was entertained, dude. It was a fun movie to watch, just like the first one was for me. This one was definitely better, I think. I think Sony did a good job of skirting around the PG-13 line, but still adding some violence to it. Like, I love the use of Carnage symbiote, like using it as weapons. Like when I saw him wrap himself around the cathedral, I thought that was pretty cool. The way he did it in front of Shriek's cage was nice too. Because I felt like that was missing from the first one. Like they're not actually utilizing their symbiote how they should. So I like that.
Yeah, like I said.
Yeah.
Blood fights. Yeah.
And they would argue, well, he was just learning how to use the symbiote. I'm like, the symbiote doesn't need to learn how to use itself. It's its own being. It's a parasite once it has a host. It has 80 billion years of knowledge, right?
True. Here's what I think. Since the first movie was a box office success, the studios gave them more of a budget, so they were to do more. So
yes.
Yeah.
So hopefully, honestly, I hope this one does well enough in the box office so when the next one comes in, they'll even do more. Maybe they can feel like they can do a 2-hour movie.
I don't like how Venom was immature too. I was like, I'm getting tired of this. I'm a child, actually a teenager vibe. That didn't like it in the first one. You didn't like it in this one. Yes, it made me laugh, and I'm like, this doesn't reflect a being as old as it is, unless they made. So I'm separating this symbiote from the comic symbiote, but it doesn't mean I have to like everything they did with it either. So.
Well, that's fair, because I mean, if his race is 1 billion years old, and we don't know how old the symbiote is, that's fair.
In human years, no, we don't. But old as shite, right?
Yeah.
And it did make a big. What's up?
No, I was like, what about? I mean, do you have any closing thoughts about this?
I liked it, but I was still right. I said it was going to make money, and I said it was going to be mediocre. Doesn't mean it wasn't a good movie, but I did say it wouldn't knock my socks off. I did say that.
That's sort of, I mean, apart from MCU Spider-Man, that's sort of the reception I get from people who watch most Sony Marvel films.
It's like, oh, you
Lukewarm.
just gave me this.
Yeah.
Just sell Spider-Man to Sony. Just rent. They're not going to sell Spider-Man to Marvel anytime soon, but
Nah.
they should. But they're not.
No,
They'd be like,
borrow.
because they'll say we'll make more money renting him to Marvel than we will selling him to Marvel. I get it.
Sure.
Royalties and all that jazz. Doesn't the Stan Lee family own the comic rights to Spider-Man still?
There's
The
something
estate.
about that.
No, I'm sure it gets very
Something.
complicated because it's like different rights. Like some people have
Yeah.
like, you know, animated rights, film rights. It's all
Really?
it's all
Lord.
very different. There's like all these details.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
But
Uh,
I'm down to future appearances of Venom, especially with Tom Hardy. Like I think
Jonathan
Tom Hardy
Yeah.
did good.
said he hadn't seen the movie Carnage.
Well, I hope our review did justice, man. And hopefully you are a regular that comes back because we love the engagement, dude. So
We did.
pop a bottle for us.
Of Heineken.
Okay. And on that note, I mean, you guys have anything else to add? Or we're good?
I could keep going, but we're not going to be here too long.
All right, then. From your host, Carson Daly, Albie, and a fun guy, this is us peacing out. Have a good night. Take care, Jonathan.